So the season is over. The season is over, and it's been an L. Like I'll keep it as like it's been. I've never I've never received a bigger L over a season for as long as I've been watching football. This is even predating the football hot. I've never had a season where I've taken so many L's back to back to back to back. It's been a nightmare of a season. All my narratives came crashing down. Pretty much every single narrative, apart from one. I think you know the one narrative. Every single narrative, bar one, crashing down. And it's one of those things where, look, see, guys, you have to understand this thing about me because I suppose it is what makes this channel unique, but it's also why maybe this channel cannot reach the heights of other things as well. The issue is I care too much. Because if I were to do certain things, take advantage of certain things, bro, I'd be, this channel would even get greater things. But the issue is I care too much, you know. Why didn't I post a reaction of Lukaku missing those things? That would have made crazy views. Posting those reactions of Lukaku making that miss. I didn't do it because I was depressed. I was sad. And I came to the realization that all the stocks I put into Lukaku was all for a waste. We all know how I feel about that Mbappe missing that penalty, and that's Euro's narrative. So it is what it is, man. And that's why I've needed a break, and that's why look, man, I had to just sort of take a break, but I just thought let me just put this out there, just for a bit of content for you guys just to chew. This I feel this season, I think I'd call this season the narrative breaking season because you look at what Messi did at the World Cup, look at what he did in Qatar, look at what he did in successive knockout games, look at what he did in the World Cup final. I now couple that with what Pep did with City, not only winning the UCL finally without Messi and putting down that whole thing of you can't win the UCL without Messi, but winning a treble, a getting all three Infinity Stones, it's big time. And let's not even look past the fact of Chelsea having their worst season since the beginning of man. since the beginning of man, Chelsea had their worst ever season. So it's been an L. It's been an L. Hence why after that UCL final, I was like, I need to just take a break. And I've just realized that, bro, I mean, because you see, being half hope, I told you half hope is my alter ego. My other guy, my other guy, you don't know who he is. Okay, he's just some other guy. But being half hope, being my alter ego, it's emotionally draining, it is physically tasking, and you've always got to be on it. You've always got to be on it. Half hope is on 200 every single time. Half hope could be like, oh well, it's always gonna be like that. That's what half hope is gonna be like that. So, these last few days I have needed this, man, because it's been hard. But reviewing this season, man, it's even something that we should even talk about much of a hanger because it's just talking about football as a whole because there are parallels from the World Cup and I think even in the UCL, which is that football has changed. And I think that you can't really say that whether it has gotten worse or it has gotten better. I look at domestically and City's dominance. Nobody came close to Man City, really. You could argue that Inter Milan they came close, but that was a game where you always knew that City would eventually win because the better team is always going to be the better team. And as I said, even during the Twitch stream, once City find a way, they're going to score because I have more faith in City scoring than putting my faith on Tweedledee and Tweedledum, aka Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku, who is a class A brick, by the way. Josh, relax. I can make him a scholar as of yet. So, and then you couple that with the World Cup and you look at the journey of Japan, you look at the journey of Morocco, you look at Germany not making it through the groups, you look at Italy not even freaking qualifying, you're looking at how Portugal failed, how Spain failed. And it's just as if there's like a changing of an order, I think, in international football. And I think in club football, it really is about we're living in Pep's world. Because I'm just looking at just both of the worlds, the international world and the club world. I think in the international world, that gap is shortening. And I feel that you are seeing teams now saying, be able to say what's up a lot more. So it's going to, so the Euros is going to be very interesting. The Copa America is going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting, and all building up to the World Cup 2026, where 3,000 teams will be taking place. Thank you, FIFA, for that. So you look at that, and then you then look at the club game. I think what we're not looking at in the club game is that it's a rebuild season. Everybody's rebuilding. It's not away from Man City, but everybody is rebuilding. So again, that's a whole different discussion on Jude Bellingham and what that means going to Real Madrid. There's a whole other discussion as to where the hell is Mbappe going to go. That's a story that we're going to be following through this summer. Harry Kane, who knows? But he's probably going to be staying at Tottenham as well. So rise to Arsenal. So there's so many big things happening. But I think in the club game, I say to myself that it's gonna. My view is going to be about City's hunger. How hungry are Man City? Man United, Chelsea, ish. Liverpool, you don't decide if you win the EPL. City decides who wins the EPL next season. If United get that Qatari money, okay, fine. But here's the thing: they get that Qatari money, it still doesn't guarantee that they're going to be able to say what's up to Man City. Because the issue with Man City, okay, they may lose Gundogan to Barcelona. Okay, they may lose Bernardo Silva to PSG. They may. We don't know what happened. If they lose them, they have guys that can easily take their place. Kovacic, my Lord in heaven, he's going to City right now, and who knows who else they are going to be able to get. So, um, can City do it for in a row? Hell yes, of course they can, 100%. And I wouldn't put it against them. And as of right now, I'm telling you this right now. Let me see what Liverpool do in the market, because Liverpool have proven that they're the only guys who can match City. But even if Liverpool get all their pieces and they rebuild their midfield, my money's still on Man City. So until someone can prove me otherwise, I'm betting on the guy who just test tubed and pretty much orgasmed on the goal scoring record and what we've now established. Love it or hate it, the greatest club manager of all time, which is Pep Guardiola. So I think I'm betting on a goal scoring freak and the GOAT club manager. Mourinho is the overall GOAT. Okay, Mourinho is the overall GOAT. Pep is the club GOAT. Mourinho overall GOAT. Um, so that's my thing. There. So I mean, but it's just interesting just to look at football as a whole, because we had a very interesting conversation on the members hangout every Monday night. Join up, become a member right now every Monday night, because we're just talking about, because Jesus put out the question of, like, has individual talent gone down? And we're even talking about just the quality of games. And I keep seeing people mention this stuff, and maybe we can have the convo on Sunday, because I think what I want to do on Sunday, like Saturday hangouts, are going to just be like transfer news, regular news. And we may have more hangouts during the week, especially if a big story drops. But I think Sunday hangouts, I want it to just be like a footballing discussion, just overall footballing discussion that can just be much more of like an interesting debate, because it's like putting this out there, because this is what we discussed on the members hangout. Have the quality of games gone down? Are football matches less exciting and less interesting than they were 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago? I mean, there's no player right now that's like peak Messi. Are there any midfielders as good as Iniesta? Are there any midfielders right now as good as peak Modric? You know, are there any defenders with the kind of talent that Ramos had? So, are there any? Well, we don't even have playmakers, but are there any players with the playmaking ability of an Ozil? Like, and look at the guys behind me. Do we have a Figo? Do we have a modern day Figo? Do we have a modern day Pirlo? Do we have a modern day Okocha? But the flip side to that is that football has evolved, and I think Pep has shown the. I don't. I wouldn't want to just say the evolution, just the change, the advance of football, which is that it's about systems now. And take your pick, because either team can win: three, four, five superstars, or an amazingly well-oiled system. So, yeah, man. But look, as I said again, look, man, it's this season for me. Look, I This everything that has a beginning must have an end. Shout out to the Oracle in Matrix Revolutions. So these narratives I had, they're always going to come to an end. They're always going to come to an end. And I can't hang over the World Cup thing over Messi. Can't do it anymore. I can't hang over the Pep Guardiola never won a thing with the UCL thing anymore. I don't even. I think once the UCL draw happens, and I realize that Chelsea not there, that's when it will hit me. I still believe Chelsea will be in that UCL draw. Call me crazy, call me deluded. I actually still believe that come the UCL draw, when we do the live reaction, I believe that Chelsea's name will be in that UCL draw. I believe in the words of Kylian Mbappe, we will be there. So once the draw happens and Chelsea are in, then I'll be like, oh wow, Chelsea really aren't in the UCL draw. So that's something that I've got to psychologically, mentally prepare myself for. Um, but yeah, man, it's a new day. It's a new day, man. So guys, s- overall as a season, how what would I say for the season overall? Because it was a weird one. It was a weird one because of the World Cup and where the World Cup was. So we just sort of had things happened. Then there was a massive break. Then that World Cup madness happened, and then we then began it. But I think that it's just poetic that Messi helped to lead Argentina to the World Cup, helped by Di Maria, and Pep won that treble. And it's just so pointed that those things happened in the same season. Pep, can you win a UCL without Messi? Messi, can you win a World Cup and help justify your legacy and your greatness as a player? And those things happened. So yeah, man. But one thing to look forward to, I think, next season is what are teams gonna do to combat Man City? Because I think next season, I think we're going to see. I really feel next season is where we're going to see the most dramatic change. I think what was a big issue was there was not that much change between last season and this season for teams. Bayern Munich, he didn't replace Lewandowski. Real Madrid, he pretty much had the same identical team. Um, Liverpool, all he bought was freaking King Arthur and what Darwin, Gakpo, you know. So and for a lot of these guys, they didn't really make those truly big seismic changes to really offset and see what's up. And even for Barcelona, yes, you pulled all these levers and so forth, but your biggest name player was Lewandowski, who is pretty much a borderline geriatric. And so I think this next season is where we're really going to see teams be like, okay, no, it's time to truly dramatically rebuild ourselves. Because you're looking at what Real Madrid are doing right now. Who knows what Barca are doing? Liverpool are already engaging in stuff. Chelsea, we're doing our thing. Chelsea was still there trying to say what's up. We're still there trying to what's up because if we pull up with Mbappe, Nene, Caicedo, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, guys may have to switch to Chelsea, man. So again, guys, I was always say thank you for the support. I appreciate the support. Keep supporting the Football Hotspot. Shout out to the members. New emojis are there. Shout out to the Patreon members. My Patreon guys, thank you for your support. Your support is very much well appreciated. And we shall be back. Look onto YouTube as to when the next show will be scheduled. Let me just enjoy this last few days of just rest, relaxation, and so forth. And I shall see you next year. Um, as I always say, Eden Hazard,